Yes, here we are. Last time we did an intro for Randy and Chelsea.
We did.
And then now we just threw them in the mix here. we are with our good friends and new good friends here in New Braunfels, Sarah and Daniel McCutchen. Normally it would be, nowadays you have to, you don't know who to introduce first. Mm-hmm. You don't want to offend.
Mr. and Mrs. is
yeah,
standard.
Mr. and Mrs. You don't want to say...
Oh, yes,
and doctor.
That's right.
Yes.
Me. I love that. Mr. and
dentist,
doctor.
a dentist.
We get mail that says that, which just never happens. But when it does happen,
I love Daniel's like, dentist, relax.
just to the doctor.
But, when we met you guys, well, first I would like to tell the story how me and Daniel met. I was taking Garrett to we have a little league baseball field in our neighborhood, which I'm going to catch shit for it. Like, I know there's going to be people like, oh my God, Trevino, you have a little league field in your neighborhood? Yes. So I take Garrett over there, and I want to say that I was there first, and I was playing ball, and then at that time, Daniel had this like glorious Oklahoma mullet. Well, it wasn't quite a mullet.
It was a full head of luscious locks, or the words you're
Yes.
He calls it show
yes.
flow.
Yes.
Show flow.
Show flow. And he comes walking up, and he's a giant, and he's got this kid who's also a giant, right? And he pulls up, hey, you mind we play ball? We start playing ball, and me and Daniel are, saying hi to each other, hitting balls to the kids, and then Major looks at Garrett and goes, my dad's on TV. And then Garrett was like, my dad is on TV.
He's famous.
He's famous. And then Major goes, yeah, well, my dad's on Facebook.
There's a one up right there.
And Garrett's like, well, my dad's on Facebook too. So Daniel and I are...
So then Steve's like, well, how many followers do you have?
We were
this guy?
Well, we were both a little embarrassed, but it, obviously it turns out that our neighbors are very good friends with you guys. Mm-hmm. And then Daniel's like, oh, you must be the comedian.
Yes.
So that is when our love affair began.
And when you became the head assistant to the assistant
yes.
on the T-ball team, or the coach pitch team.
I felt very honored to be on. Everybody wanted to be on Daniel's team, as you can imagine, because we haven't told you yet.
Because who doesn't want their kid coached by a ex-pro baseball player?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Daniel was is an ex baseball player, pitcher specifically, and everybody wanted to be on his team. And then because I traveled so much. Because normally I would probably be the head coach, but I was the assistant to the assistant to the. I was a motivator. I was a very good motivator.
Well, everyone also wants to coach on that team, all the dads. So I think you were probably like sixth in line, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No,
you got a jersey.
Yeah.
But
you got a jersey.
No, fuck your second season.
Yeah.
First season, I didn't have shit.
Didn't,
No jersey,
I didn't
no
get
hat.
anything. I would show up and they'd be like, "Who's this random guy?"
Yeah. Well, they didn't. The jerseys didn't come in tank tops, and you were like, "I'm not wearing that." What are those sleeve things? That's not me.
That ain't happening, buddy. But next year, McCutchen got me a shirt, and I had a hat that said assistant to the assistant coach. But we had a lot of fun together.
I think you coached in flip-flops one game.
I do coach in flip-flops.
But the moms, they had a different name for you, didn't they?
They were
Coach Tight Pants?
Yeah, Coach Sexy Legs.
Sexy Legs, I think that was it.
And it was embarrassing because I could hear it. I could hear them all whispering.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there he is. There he is.
And then you were like, no, I don't need to stretch my hamstrings anymore. How many times do I got to stretch them for you moms up there?
They're like, can Steve catch? Can Steve catch? Look at him
We never
squat.
met any of these moms. I did you?
I think that was another team.
Yeah.
But we ended up having such a great time in Little League and hitting it off with you guys and getting to know you guys and learning kind of who you were. And then we really started to see that you guys carried the same values that we have, that you guys raise your kids very similar to the way we're trying to raise our kids. And we hit it off. And then you left. You broke up with us. Yeah. You built a house
down the road.
just
down the road.
Well, technically down the road. As the crow flies
down the road.
Yeah.
Down the road. But by the time we come out and see
The
you,
windy road.
But we're super happy for you guys, and we just wanted to get into the love story. Because, and we also want to be with couples on this podcast that live similar lives to us or have experienced similar things. And you being a baseball player, first of all, who hit on who? How does a little girl from New Braunfels, Texas, end up with a little boy from Oklahoma that plays baseball?
Little? Did you just call him little?
boy.
For a baseball player, I'm not that big.
Yeah.
When I'm hanging around
That's true.
Trevino,
Baseball
He's talking
I'm a bodyguard.
He's talking about the locker room, honey. He's not very big in the locker room.
Hey.
So how did it happen?
I was in high school, actually.
What?
Yeah.
That's how I roll, man.
I didn't know this.
Beginning of my senior year of high school. Yeah, he snatched me.
I was a sophomore. I started off I walked on to a Division II school out of high school as a shortstop. Then I started throwing hard, and then I went to junior college. And my roommate there was this guy named Craig Crow.
Which college was this?
This was at Grayson.
Grayson County
At
College.
Grayson County College in Denison, Texas.
I was gonna say, where is that? I don't know. Okay.
Denison,
Which is
Sherman
a great baseball school for junior college. It's like a feeder school for the Big 12. Well,
Right.
what used to be the Big 12.
Yeah, that's being dismantled as you speak.
I came back just for a weekend trip with him to New Braunfels, and his girlfriend's best friend was Sarah. And Sarah was actually hooked up with another guy on a date, but I don't know if you've
How dare you?
I don't know if you've ever been to junior college.
Blind
There's
date.
not a whole lot of
Hot chicks?
hot chicks to choose from. But the week before, my friend Todd, I'd already called the one hot chick in our class, and he stole her from me.
You called shotgun?
So then, when he was on the date with Sarah, then I swooped in.
So you made, so was it a tubing trip or
No, we just went to a party at a friend's house, but on the way there, we stopped because I needed gas, and he filled my car up with gas, and I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah, so she has daddy's credit card.
Yeah.
I
Poor
have
guy. I didn't know you had no money.
I have $19 in my account, and no
Let me get this.
no Subway for
Right.
you for a
back
month.
then
but
gas in Texas was $1.14.
I still spent like $12, which
Yeah,
was
solid $12.
Which
When
left
you're-
him with 5.
yes.
Yes.
When you're worth
Maybe.
20,
Math, baby. I'm proud of you. That was quick.
but yeah, then we hit it off.
So let me interrupt. I don't know. There was something about me and Renae that I knew. I was like,
I didn't.
She didn't.
He knew.
Yeah.
But I knew. I was like, this is gonna be the best girl. No girl this classy and this smart. All the other girls I had glitter on their tits. This one I knew. And did you feel that or?
Yeah, I think I did.
As a
Yeah, I'm not
sophomore
much
in
of a-
college? Because
I'm
Steve
not-
was older.
Yeah, no, I'm not much of a romantic, but yeah, we hit it off. I mean, we were
we
long
just-
distance from like our relationship,
Forever.
how it started off. It was great for how we ended up because she went to Texas A&M, I went to Oklahoma after junior college, and then she went to dental school. Graduated dental school
Where did you go to dental school?
At UT San Antonio.
So close by.
But then when
Under
she went to
San Antonio.
UT, I got drafted by the Yankees, and so we lived a long distance relationship. I played professional baseball for 11 years, so it was. Then she graduated from dental school and started a dental practice.
But there's also something admirable about that too, of this kind of making it work, right? And you guys being young together, and you trying to figure out what your life's going to be like, and you not knowing at all
Oh, yeah.
what's going to happen in
Yeah.
baseball.
So
Yeah,
you
right?
stayed put here working while he would bounce from.
So I would
team to
travel,
team.
and it was easy at the beginning because it was just me, and then got married, and then we had.
Well, tell us a little bit about the
yeah.
traveling. So you get drafted by the Yankees.
Drafted by the Yankees. I wasn't a high pick with the Yankees, but I worked my way up through the system pretty quick. Got to AAA pretty quick. Drafted in 2006 and 2008. I went to big league spring training with the Yankees. I'm in AAA.
And that's in Florida.
Spring training is in Florida.
For
AAA
Yankees.
is in Scranton,
Scranton,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
So
Yeah,
I'm
they're like, you're
right.
AAA. Go
Yeah.
to Scranton.
Yeah.
Go to Scranton. But
I went there a lot.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So at this
Yeah.
point, are you, on the weekends or trying to?
It was usually like once a month I would go.
Which a dentist, I mean, she has as far as her schedule, she can
Yeah.
schedule it.
Right.
So when
And
we
I practiced with my mother, so she could help cover, and so then I would go for a long weekend, usually
let's-
once a month.
I'm glad you brought up your mother, and I know we're sidetracking, and I know we're getting crazy. But,
We'll go back.
But speaking of your mother, How were your parents? How did they receive Daniel?
They were actually pretty good. It was my grandmother. What did she say to you?
Yeah, they got cornered by
we
the
have a good
grandmother
story with her.
who ran the family and.
Who ran the family?
Yes.
No, I still have
matriarch of the
nightmares
family?
about
Yeah, she
not
was.
graduating college, and so I'm not the smartest
We
guy
were
in the world. I
dating.
have a degree, but I'm not the smartest guy. So it wasn't. I mean, I have an economics degree, but it didn't come easy. So but I knew like I'm going to be shunned from the family. And,
you don't graduate,
You got a degree when they'd be like, "Is he hurt? No, let's keep him in class."
so yeah,
Let's
so
keep him-
the grandmother cornered me one Thanksgiving and said, "So what are you going to do after college? And
What are your plans?
Yeah, what are your
I'm
plans? What are your-
playing baseball. And I was good in college.
Right.
I knew I was going to get drafted. I was like, I want to get drafted and play pro baseball. And she kind of like chuckled. And she's like, okay, what are you really going to do?
Cute. It's really cute. Yeah.
And yeah, then when I'm pitching
"No,
in the big
really."
leagues, I'm like, what now,
bitch.
Grandma? Huh?
League minimum.
Yeah, let's go.
But so she was kind of like, worried. Hey, what's going on here?
Oh yeah, they all were. I had one of my aunts. My aunt Diana was like, "You need to find a nice Aggie. There's so many boys there in College Station. Why? He's from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
But
that whole.
it worked out. Yeah.
I don't know if you know any Aggies, but it's a bit of
it's a
a
whole
It's a tight
cult.
network, you know.
It's
Well, no,
a
no,
cult.
I was going to say it's so
Yeah.
true. Like you go to A&M and you find
Yeah.
your mate, and
Yes.
senior year he proposes
You get
before
your MRS
graduation,
degree.
and then
Yes.
yeah, it's totally a thing.
But were there guys hitting on you at Aggie
Oh
Land?
yeah.
For sure. What do you mean were there? Of
No,
course.
I had to shoo him away.
So just timeline wise, you're already playing ball and you're still finishing up college.
Yeah.
So then every month you go, okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll go meet him.
So yeah, I'd go travel, and it was awesome. It was every time I went there, a new hotel, got to meet all these great people, and got
Yeah,
so
so
many
when-
connections. It was a good time.
Yeah, when I debuted in the big leagues in 2009, and so I was up and down a lot. So those of you that know baseball, you have options, and you have those rotating guys that get called up from AAA to the big leagues, and then they get sent back down.
Get sent
you
back
need
down,
a,
right.
We never
you need
knew
a
where I would
bullpen.
go.
Oh, are you serious? You're going
Yeah,
up
so I'm
and
going
down?
up and down,
Cities
probably-
constantly.
You're and correct me if I'm wrong, you're on the team
Yeah.
and you're there as needed.
Well, it's a 40 man
If you're on the
roster, so
roster.
there's
Yeah.
25 guys in the big leagues at a time. But let's say you go into extra innings one game and they use all of their bullpen, and you play every single day, 162 games. I mean, it is every day you're playing a game. So they need some fresh arms, so they'll send some guys down to AAA, call some guys up, and so for a few years I was up there most of the year, but a lot I have parts of 5 years in the big leagues. A lot of it was up and down. So we pretty much knew how I got called up was when I was in AAA. Sarah buy a non-refundable ticket, for next weekend if we're
This is our
playing
running joke.
in Louisville.
Right.
The Reds for the AAA for the Reds. Buy a non-refundable ticket to Louisville, and I'm getting called up. So all right, we lose that $400,
But I get to go
come
to the
on,
big
baby,
leagues
we're
instead,
We're not
we're
going-
playing in New
Every
York
time.
against the Mets.
Yeah.
And I got a room.
Yeah. So it's fun. Yeah. And AAA, you have a roommate. You stay at the Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
At
You
in the
travel by
big
bus.
leagues, you get your own
You travel
suite.
by bus.
Yeah.
Bus. Yeah.
AAA, well, it's bus or plane,
Depends
which is
where-
I mean,
how
I
far.
have,
Bicycle.
I have
Here, ride this bike too.
I have so many great memories in AAA and in the minors. I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome. But the big leagues, it's just a whole
Right.
different. Yeah.
You get a real hotel.
Yeah.
It's
You're
the difference
like-
between being an opening act comic and
Yeah.
a headlining
Yeah,
comic.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
hotel by yourself, a room by yourself. You're flying
Right, and you're in
on
New
the
York.
private plane. Once you fly on those private planes, and then you go normal Southwest, and they're telling you to buckle up, and
You're
you're like,
like,
"What? Buckle up?"
Turn my phone off.
Yeah, what are you talking
crazy?
about? I play poker when we're taking off, and guys are riding the. They got the little food trays.
Right.
Until you've seen someone in a full size jet ride a food tray down the aisle on takeoff, you haven't
don't
lived
get it.
the
Yeah.
private jet
No.
life. So.
But there's something kind of romantic to all this, right?
Well, I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh, screw the $400 refundable ticket" when you're just buying one.
True.
But
Yes.
then when there's
And then life happened, and we started having kids, and the travel was pretty easy. I mean, we took our first, Mabry, we took her to Pittsburgh. He was playing with the Pirates. I flew there with her when she was 9 days old, and we just went. And it was like,
it's so crazy. I mean, I'm listening to your story, and it's very similar to Renae and I, because there were times where, in a sense, I was getting pulled up to the big leagues, right? Where, I'd get a gig where they're like, hey, we want you to perform on a cruise. And I'm like, Renae, like, let's go. Right? We got a cruise. But for me, and I don't know, we always talk about, would we have made it had we met when I was younger in life? And I don't know if we would have.
If I had met sophomore in college, Steve,
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have.
Was that a challenge? I mean,
we grew up.
Because Daniel's a very fun, outgoing guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like? Do you have a man crush on me?
I do, a little bit. Well, I'm just thinking with my athletic ability and your size, if we were to mate,
Probably be a two-sport athlete.
We could breed. But no, I mean, Daniel's a fun, outgoing guy, and I can't imagine the guy that he is, that we are today. We're already here. I can't imagine pro baseball, young guy is. I mean, the needle's breaking off.
Yeah.
Was that a challenge sometimes?
Not really. We knew who we were and what we wanted and our relationship, and
I never got in trouble to where like the trust factor was lost. And so
You mean
that
you
was
never
good.
like got arrested one night and your wife's getting a call at like
But
4
it
a.m. and
was.
saying, I think this might be a local jail in Virginia.
maybe I
Like,
should
you know,
answer.
there was a saying
She didn't
in-
answer, by the way.
Oh no.
I had to call my dad.
Oh.
But when you're hanging out with your buddy who's a Navy SEAL from high school and they're rappelling off of a hotel room, I want it.
Okay.
And it's not my fault that
my
the
word.
cops came when I was halfway down the building. And then I'm with a bunch of SEALs, so they completely disappear. And now it's just me with a rope. And the cops are like, what's going on? And I'm like, there was like 9 of us here. Where'd you get that rope? Well, they had it. They're part of the 9. So I call her. She doesn't answer. I have to call my dad because you have to call a landline when you go to jail.
I've never been.
We don't even
Tell
know
me
that.
more.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
We don't know this.
Let me take some notes real quick. All right, landline, got it.
All I'm saying is that when our boys get to teenage age, we need a landline.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
we
right,
have one right now.
yeah, all right. We're gonna have that.
So the only asshole I know that has a landline is my dad. So I call him up, and it's like 4 a.m, and I'm in jail. No SEALs, just me. And I go, hey man, you need to let people know I'm in jail in Virginia. And my dad goes, you're fucked, call somebody else. And he hung up the phone.
Oh no.
And left me there. But yes, so I would imagine that being young together was an adventure.
It was. Yeah.
And there's a saying in baseball: you can't find love in the big leagues. I mean, you can, but there's all those motives. So
Right.
she loved me when I had $19 in my account.
Well, again, very similar to Renae and I. I didn't even have
I was
a
going
bank
to say, you
account.
had an account. Steve didn't have one of those.
I wanted to fly her to Orlando. I was opening up in Orlando. I wanted to fly her out there. A buddy of mine, I'm like, hey, you have a debit card, right?
Can we use yours?
Yeah, can we use yours? I'll give you cash. I didn't even have a bank account. And that is another reason that I am more in love with my wife because, like you said, we had zero together. And we built everything together, So then, when in the big leagues, so she's 9 weeks old.
9 days.
9 days.
We flew to Pittsburgh. That was our first trip.
Together, or were you
No,
like,
no.
I'll meet you there?
I flew there. Yeah.
No,
met
he's
him
there. She's here in
He's
Texas.
There. I'm here.
But you're playing for the
No, we-
Pirates at this point.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you have. I mean, you're
came
playing.
home
You're
for the
playing
birth.
games every day. Like I
Right.
said, you have an off day.
It's
You play
150.
162 games in
Right.
180 days. But a lot of the times on your off day, we're playing in Pittsburgh. We have an off game, and then we're playing the Dodgers.
travel day.
Right.
And so it'll be a travel day. So which travel days are awesome because you get to fly on the jet into LA or into Chicago, and then you have the whole day to go out and. I was never a big baller, big leaguer, but I hung out with big ballers. So
Yeah, right.
then you get the status and all of that, going out to restaurants and
Right.
ordering. You ever had one of those seafood towers? I didn't even know
Oh, yeah.
those existed
Yeah.
until the big leagues, and that's just like they order those like I would order chips and salsa
Right.
at a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, give me one of those.
Make
Give me
it
one of
two.
those.
They were big guys.
Yeah,
Make it two.
let's get those seafood towers. Yeah, extra lobster. Like we're saying, bring me some extra chips and salsa.
So you being an Oklahoma kid and me being a little South Texas kid, I that feeling you just said was something for me too, where they keep it together. Like in my head, where I'm like, act like you've been here before, but oh my God, this is amazing. Like wow, And we were just talking about that on one of our episodes where, sometimes I have to remind myself what would 18-year-old or 21-year-old Steve think of
When the traveling starts to take its toll and you're exhausted because you haven't slept, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that you still get to do that as a career.
So,
Yeah.
first baby planned?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Wait,
Playing it
she
out.
gave me the
Yeah,
ultimatum.
kind of.
She said,
She's like, planned for her.
she said,
not for him.
we're
Yeah.
having a baby or we're going to Europe.
We did
Oh.
both.
And then so I said, all right.
Girl.
You know, I'm thinking financially and a bunch of stuff. She just started practicing. Yeah, I just.
Practicing a little bit, yeah.
What year was that? 2011.
11.
Yeah, so I was, I'm having my
I've been
first
practicing
successful
about here.
year in the big leagues. I'm like, let's get a little nest egg going.
Something
Let's
going.
have some fun. And then she came to the wives trip in Milwaukee. They once a year they have a wives trip, so the wives get to come on the plane with us and do all of that. And,
Right.
and I was pitching really good, and I thought for sure our first was going to be a boy, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Big Oklahoma guy.
Yeah, and all baseball players have girls.
And boom.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I pitched in Milwaukee that night. I was throwing as hard as I've ever thrown, 95, 96. And so I'm like, all right,
Feeling
let's
good.
go.
Yeah.
I got that future big leaguer. So, yeah.
So
You kind of know when you have the baby because, we didn't see each other. And,
Right, of course.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So-
yeah. So,
Milwaukee baby, yes.
how did you? And I keep jumping around, and I'm sorry for that. But how did you propose? How many years were you guys dating, and then the proposal came?
We dated for 6 years.
Oh,
until
that's very similar.
we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he proposed on a mountain top at Crested Butte, Colorado, with
So
all
tell
my
me,
family
is
there.
that
We
not
went
the
snowboarding.
most-
It was great.
Isn't that the most nerve-wracking thing? I mean, me and you are not shy people.
yeah, I was nervous.
Man, I was like, I had it in my pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, I was. So did you do the whole take a knee?
Yeah, and I told her brother about it, and that was before the cell phones where you could video everything.
Right.
So, he's on the ski lift with the camcorder. Like, oh,
I
yeah.
was like, why is he bringing his camera?
Yeah, and I'm like,
So
yeah.
nothing went off for you.
I was hoping.
Well, she
I
told
was hoping,
me I
like,
had till Christmas, and it was
You've
like
got to do
December.
this.
She said it was December
That was out.
She
22nd.
did that shit to me.
That was us. We were
Time.
we were 7 years in, and I think that summer I told him, I was like, "Look, this is happening by the end of the year, or it's not."
No, she goes.
I like it.
No, she didn't say it like that. She goes, if I go home one more time without a ring on this fucking finger, I'm leaving. And I was like,
not
oh
what she
shit.
heard.
No. I said, "Look, you figure it out. Like, it doesn't have to be a big ring. Like, dudes, figure it out. I got faith in you. You can figure
Bullshit,
it out
dude. She
before
was
the end of the year."
she was online and she'd be like, come here. That is a ring
Just
that
gonna
I
leave
would
this on my
like.
screen.
This is back when I had like an old Mac desktop,
Yeah.
and you'd get the pop-ups, on your screen, and for some reason, pop-ups kept ring pop-ups
Coming of
kept
rings.
ads, yeah, and there'd be like 3 rings in a row, and
Now
I'd be
it's
like, "All
divorce
right,
attorneys.
sir." I
It's
was like,
weird.
"Which
So
one
then,
would you pick
yes.
out of these
Then
three?"
once she picked the big one, then did you have a gig in New York and you went to Canal Street and you said, one like this, one like this. Oh, you got something special for you. Come in the back.
Buddy, come here, buddy. Yeah, buddy, we get you something, buddy.
Normally $20,000 for you,
So,
$50.
but did you do the ask her parents and let them know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I went over to her parents' house and and they knew what was up,
Right.
but it took me like 2 hours. We're
My mom
talking
said it
and
was
talking
the
and
longest
talking.
dinner of
So
her
finally
life.
she sits me down. She's like, "Do you have something to ask us?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Oh, but you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, because what
Why is
girlfriend?
Daniel
Yeah.
Why
McCutchen?
are you here
Why did he
without
come to
her?
say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I want to have dinner with y'all"? Hey,
Can we wrap
cook
this
me
up?
dinner. Cook me dinner. I want to
They
talk
were
to y'all about
sweating
something.
balls and-
Yeah.
with a seafood tower in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I did that. She was like, "You need to ask my parents," and I thought to myself, "What an old tradition that I have
Did
to
I tell
go."
you need to ask my
Yes.
parents? I don't remember.
Do it right. Do it right. Right.
Oh, yeah, I probably
But then-
did say that. That
Yes.
sounds like something I would
But I
say.
go, how come women don't have to go to my parents and be like, "Hey, you know how Steve has worked his entire life? Well, half of that is mine now. I'm just letting you know."
It's tradition.
Right? But I was so nervous to talk to. Well, I talked to her dad by himself, and then I talked to So 6 years in, take a knee, big wedding.
Pop the question. Yeah, here in New Braunfels at the Civic Center. We got married at the Methodist Church and then had a big party and lots of family. Yeah. It was
And
nice.
we come from different types of families. So, with that, if you make it through the the wedding planning, because I'm like, okay, asked her to marry me. Now, we were going to breathe. And then,
Right.
Monday they call me and they got, they have
It's already-
plans. I'm
My
like,
mom was
what?
on top of it.
What is
Yes.
going on? And
What's-
then
help me.
we invited.
Well, it
like,
had been 6 years. Your
Yeah,
mom had been
she's
planning it
been
for a
ready.
I
while.
don't know. We
Yes.
had, what did we have? 250, 300 people at the wedding, something like that.
think it was-
And then I'm looking at that and I'm looking at the how much each plate was going to cost.
And they're like,
no,
he's in the big leagues.
I'm like, no. It's like my mom.
Crazy.
She'll cook. She'll cook for all of us. We're not paying $60 a plate or whatever it is.
She needs a hot plate and a pan.
Let's go. We'll go. And,
like, no, sweetie.
She makes gumbo. We'll have gumbo. And Sarah like that. So that was where I've been more accustomed to spending money now. But when we first got together,
it's so fun. You guys have such a similar story to us. I mean, we are definitely different, and we've talked about it before. Different class growing up. I grew up very humble, right? Very in the streets, right? Playing ball, and she grew up going to NYU, so very different. But I think that in our relationship, it really brings a yin and a yang and a different perspective sometimes, right?
Yeah. And then other times we just bump heads like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, when I met Renae, I was like, how much does gas cost? And she said, you just do that. You get a card and it's just, you just
the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. And me being, who I am, and like yourself, where, there's no safety net for me. And I was always very like, no, we can't do that. And we got to save money, but it definitely has helped us in our relationship.
Now, how many ever years we've been together, years later, I'm the spender now.
Me too.
And she's the saver. And she's pulling the reins back on me. But yeah, I grew up as a preacher's kid. Right. There's four kids in our family.
But I have that, we were just talking about this. I go to the movies and I want everything. Because when I was growing up, it was, we're going to the movies, mom's hiding a Coke in her purse. Right? And don't ask for shit.
So he wants the giant tub of popcorn, and no, don't share it. You get your own popcorn. Like
I go to a baseball game, and I'm like, I'm leaving here with a tummy ache.
Well, what was that? So it's being like saving money or maybe even cheating the system a little bit stuck with me for a while, because when we were in New York, she's a dentist, I'm a big leaguer, and we went to that wax museum. And I busted out my student ID, and she busted out hers, so we could get it for half price. And I'm like, "You're a doctor, I'm in the big leagues, and we just got half price at the wax museum in New York City, saving money."
So you get married, big wedding, you have the baby, you're at Pittsburgh. Was there? And we'll get to that in a minute. So I don't want to talk about that yet. I've always been so with you guys. How many kids now? 4. 4. And Daniel going, I want
4.
another one?
Done.
No, every time I'm like, because I feel like I'm overwhelmed all the time, but, and I just have 2. I think of you, Sarah, and how you do it with 4.
We pray
and you're
to Sarah.
still so smiley.
We have a little picture of Sarah and we pray. And we go, give us the Sarah McCutchen string.
And you take it all in stride. And you don't ever look exhausted like I do.
See me behind the scenes. I am. But I call it controlled chaos. It's good, but it's chaos. Yeah.
When was there a point where you guys like, okay, I'm not going to be a big leaguer forever, because nobody is, right? Time to settle down, time to buy a home. When did that happen?
Yeah, really, she would always tell me, what are you going to do after baseball? What are you going to do after baseball? What are you going to do after baseball? For me, I'm like, I'm not
the minor leagues.
And I had thought about, and my brother-in-law's in the car wash business, so I knew like, okay, I'm going to get in the car wash business after baseball. But when you're playing baseball, I'm not thinking about doing anything else.
Think about the next
I'm
game.
here away from my family. Like I'm trying to
play ball
get
as
to the
long
big
as I
leagues,
can.
stay in the big leagues. But then 2016, I said, if I'm not, because the year before I spent
with our third.
Yeah, pregnant with our third, starting to get harder. If I'm not going to be in the big leagues, if I'm not in the big leagues this year, and if I'm in AAA, I'll retire. And so you
already made a mental note.
No, like this is it. Like, I'm going to give it everything I got.
That had to be so hard to come to that place, though.
Yeah, but a lot of people deal with it worse than me. I guess I can get into that in just a second. But I took once I retired from baseball, it really was the day after I'm looking for car wash sites. And so I took all of this passion and all of this work ethic and everything that I'd done my whole life, and I just threw it into a new business.
Yeah, but somewhere to channel it.
I would say, and I'm not going to mention the comedians' names, but there comes a time too, and maybe this is in the big leagues too, where the only thing that they love is comedy or baseball.
Yeah.
So they don't, I was lucky to have Renae, that my focus, you have kids, you have a wife, your focus changes to, well, I love them more than I love comedy.
But but even then, we even talk about like with coronavirus, what a high it is to go on stage and have all these people laughing in a room with you. And how do you replicate that feeling?
You can't. That's what I say. Like I miss the competition. I can go to the Y and play basketball, or me and you can go golf, but I suck at golf and I suck at basketball. But yeah, being able to be in front of
that guy,
40,000 people
and beat that guy.
Yeah,
right.
And so that's just a feeling that I'll never be able to duplicate. But
as a man, having a great wife and these kids, mentally, I think that it helped, right, to go, all right, I'm going to retire, and I have this family at home, and I now have a plan.
Yeah, and I left it all on the field. There's no regrets. I mean, yeah, there's some things that I wish, I made. I was the opening day roster in 2010 as the fifth starter for Pittsburgh, and I had a seafood tower the night before I started in Arizona, and I pitched 2 good innings, and then I got shelled, and I kind of lost it mentally. There's probably some pictures of me on the internet looking like I'm a little homeless dog in the corner of the dugout. But, so I think back on that. Man, if you would have just had a good outing there, and I was in Pittsburgh, we weren't very good. Solidified my spot in the rotation. No telling which way my baseball career would have gone. But now looking back,
play that game all day.
Yeah. I'm in a great place in life.
Yeah. Play that game all day. Yeah.
Thriving business. We're loving New Braunfels. Awesome house.
Well, let's talk about that. So, obviously Sarah is a dentist who saw me and made me a tooth, which I was so appreciative of. Yes, it's still there. We're good.
A good chewer.
So then you start practicing, and then now it's time for Daniel McCutchen, to decide, okay, what kind of car wash am I going to have? Because your brother-in-law was in the car wash business.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we started.
Yeah, so we built the express car wash. And so now I was a little bit bitter about baseball. So my first, I was like, I'm not doing a baseball-themed car wash. Like, I've played baseball 11 years,
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I don't have to always be about
whatever.
baseball.
So it took me a few months to get over that, and then I was going to be.
Was that you encouraging?
No, I wanted the baseball.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Were you the one who was pushing
I
for
was
it?
encouraging him, but he was just like, I don't know, maybe let's pick another theme, just something totally random. But I was like, baseball this is awesome. Not many people can say that they have played Major League Baseball.
Right.
Like it's something we need to.
But I can't believe. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I can't believe that nobody else has done that theme.
Yeah.
I was just going to explain
I started off at Major League Car Wash. Major League Car Wash with the logo. It's a silhouette of me with my little mullet.
With your mane. Yeah, with your mane.
So that was at first, but then I sent it to the Players Union. I'm building this huge car wash and all this stuff. I want to make sure I'm not going to get in trouble. Send it to the Players Union. They send it to the owners. Then I get a call from one of the head lawyers for the owners, and he's like, "No, you're not going to be Major League Car Wash." It's like, but I played in the major leagues.
We own that.
Chipper Jones has Major League Bow Hunter, and they're like, yeah, we're trying to they're fighting him for that. And so then I went from Major League Car Wash to Big League Car Wash,
which we like better because you
like
always call it Big League.
Big League, everything could be Big League.
The bigs, right?
Yeah.
But, we did that charity, and I kept making fun of Daniel. I kept going, Major League Car Wash, and he'd be in the back, Big League, Big League.
Correcting.
But the theme, I can't believe nobody else has done it.
Yeah.
It's so cool that it's you have the different levels of car washes, and it's like
when you go through the thing, it's a baseball bat.
It's a baseball bat, and you have
fun.
the field out there, and it's you want the grand slam, you want and it's really freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then there had to be a struggle financially and trying to get this business off the ground because it's not a small business.
Yeah. So I never made a ton of money in the big leagues. I made a bunch of money, but not like.
Crazy
I never
money,
signed like a $10 million
You're not A-Rod.
So we did. That was, people as business owners, when you get out, we had a chunk of money. Sarah has a very good job as a dentist. So, we had to make a decision do I want to live a good life with this chunk of money, or do we want to risk it all and build a car wash?
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we did. We took a big chunk of money. We risked it. I have this performance saying how many cars are going to come through, but, we'll wash. We have lots of days we'll wash over 1,000 cars. We can wash 100 cars an hour, but you're looking at a piece of paper going, well, I invited my 12 friends, but I had to give them all free.
My neighbors come and wash the car.
I had to give them all free car washes, so I'm not making any money off of them. So where are these other, 980 cars going to come for the day? But, now my saying is I played professional baseball for 11 years, so I could have a really cool car wash theme. So
Yeah, well, look, I'm the same way. I do comedy as a hobby, and playing craps is my is my career. It's my career.
Steve is like determined to get a Captain Evil slot machine with
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that's my goal.
shoes and purses.
But
yeah.
with this slot machine, you do not win money. You win purses.
You win stuff.
Yeah, you win like Jimmy Choo purses, and you know what I mean. And
yes.
every woman will just be there. More money, give me more. Well, great. That was a $9,000 Jimmy Choo purse.
I don't gamble, but I might.
there you go.
But it was a gamble, and you totally supported the decision.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We knew that we wanted to have our own business. You know, you have a business as well, and doing something after baseball, and this was just the perfect opportunity.
Which, by the way, I love your license plate, washed up.
I am
And
all washed up.
it's so great. but the crazy thing is, you're now building car wash number three.
Yeah.
And and people, and tell me a little bit about, like, you know, people think, oh, well, you know, you got this guy from the big leagues. He's got all this money. Well, of course he opened a car wash, and now he kicks back. How many hours a day? Because, I mean, you know, when you lived here, I was seeing you fly. I mean, you were freaking, or I'd see you in town just flying. How many hours a day you think you put into making sure this car wash succeeds?
Yeah, so I mean, I have really good guys that are running the car wash now. You know, I'm more like working on the business than in the business. So there's a lot of getting permits and things like boring stuff like that, but takes a lot of time. So that's more my role now. I go to both car washes every day, most every day, check on them.
Well, we were at a game.
But you're also helping with 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at a game, we were coaching a game. I was doing a great job. And then all of a sudden you're like, man, I got to run because I got to go work at the car wash.
Someone called in sick.
Somebody called in sick, and you're out there with the scrub brush.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not
I
afraid
showed
to.
up with Garrett after the game, and Daniel's there.
Daniel was there.
And you're looking at the silhouette. And
Hey, wait, that's that guy.
Wait a minute.
I mean, as a business owner, I like to. I want all of my employees and the team members to know that I've done what they've done. So, you know, I'm making training videos right now, and it's me doing all the work, just so that, you know, if the person comes in, I don't want them to look at me and say, oh, that's that rich athlete. He's never worked a day in his life. La-di-da-di-da. Now, if they watch the videos, okay, he's
Pretending.
everything I've done, he's done. Oh,
why is he in a suit? Is he wearing a suit? He's perfectly dry. But so that's a good question too. Both you guys being business owners, you know, philosophies, right? What is the philosophy? And I love that you're like, look, man, I get in there, I get dirty, right? And are you the same way at the practice?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a little different business because I physically have to be there working with my hands to do the work, you know, so that's a little bit different as far as our styles of business. But yes, being hands-on and there for your team, that's the best, a good team environment.
So full-time dentist, full-time business owner, entrepreneur with the car wash, then taking on building a new home. You know, because Renae and I talk about all the time. It's like, we always say, God, we got so much going on. We got so much going on. But there's also, we don't know how to live without so much going on.
Without being busy. Yeah.
You know, so how was that process? And then talk about your favorite part of their home.
Oh, yeah.
Which part?
The Christmas tree closet. I didn't even know this was a thing until you told me. Y'all, there is a wall that has old school paneling,
Yeah.
like nice
I want to
modern
get it
lighting.
right. How high are the ceilings in that room?
24 foot.
Okay, because I said 30, so let's just call it 30.
But you
got
push
30
the
sounds
wall,
better.
Yeah, 30 sounds solid, yeah.
and it pops open like a secret little room.
Yep.
And it's so you can wheel your massive, giant Christmas tree.
16-foot Christmas tree.
Completely decorated in and out.
I know.
Do-
I
do-
can't wait for Christmas.
But I told Renae, because she goes, oh my God, that's so great that, you know, you leave it decorated and you put it in. I go, bullshit, I know you. You're going to switch themes.
Change the theme. I know.
Every year you're going to get bored with that theme and then do something else. But do you find yourselves getting a little emotional sometimes when you look at your home or the what you've accomplished? Because, you know, I told Renae, you know, we're trying to buy this house. I go, I might cry. Like I might, you know, coming from where I came from and you know, what, last week or the week before, we went to the house that I grew up in. I mean, we're talking about I grew up in a 1,300 square foot home, you know, and in this field in Gregory, Texas. And I got emotional. Like I was out there and being there and standing on that sidewalk and looking at the home I grew up in and the lot I played football in with my buddies. I mean, do you guys ever feel that?
It's been a blessing. I mean, we're
Yeah.
We love it. It's so beautiful. We're so lucky, and it's
But that, I mean, what you were just talking about, that's the American dream, right? I mean, we all, yes, some people might have easier opportunities or easier success than others, but man, I mean, I've met guys that, have come, I'm not going to say I was poor growing up because
I wasn't poor either,
I never, went to bed with an empty belly.
Right.
And you can always find someone worse off than you. But yeah, I mean, we were in a similar situation with a little house, and my dad's a preacher and painter on the side, and I never got what you said about ordering everything at the movie theaters. I've never been to a psychiatrist, but if I did, they would probably tell me, all the stuff when you buy like everything you buy at the grocery store, it's because you didn't get it when you were growing up. So now I'm like,
I want that. Yeah. But same thing when we go to a nice restaurant. I'm like, I want appetizer. I want, I want
because we never did it. Yeah, I didn't.
You were never allowed to order an appetizer.
Yeah, I didn't. Or have a Dr. Pepper with lunch growing up.
After church, my dad would be like, "We're all going to Luby's," and we'd be like,
I love Luby's.
We're going to Luby's, And for those of you that don't know, Luby's is a cafeteria style restaurant. But I mean, that was
we went there every Sunday growing up. I love Luby's.
After church, we'd have our tray at Luby's.
Let's go.
My Jello, everything.
And my dad's like, "Y'all go for it, man." He said, "Go for it. I want the Jello. I want, But that was a big deal to us, and now, we do look kind of back and go, "Wow, man, what a journey we've had to get to here." What's the biggest challenge in your marriage? Is it time? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely never enough hours in the day. You feel like you're always trying to catch up, but we just need to remember all the moments in between. Yeah. Just
we're probably in the best place of our marriage ever right now. Just
great.
We finally got the house built. Yeah. We both have successful businesses. Our kids, it's crazy. We have 4 kids. The oldest is 9.
1 to 9, right?
So
1 to 9.
9, 6, 4, and 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Daniel looked at you. How old?
He's like, how old? He always looks to me.
When are their birthdays?
What's their birthday? When he's on the phone with people.
He's already 6. Oh man, I thought he was a big 4-year-old.
We have noticed, and even though Delilah's only 7 months, there's such a big difference in the human being that Garrett is and the human being that she is. Do you guys find it challenging to have to raise 4 different kids who have 4 different personalities?
Yeah, I mean, you just try to guide their spirit and make it happen.
I mean, Garrett's already like, well, why does Delilah get to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's always
we let the youngest win. So Mila.
Anything the baby wants, the baby
Mila,
gets.
our 4-year-old, now that the baby's starting to want stuff, she's like, wait, I'm the baby. I get everything I want. No,
Right.
Mila, give up your Barbie doll.
If
because
Monroe is crying, we always say, make her stop crying. Whatever you need to do.
We're in that part of our life where just make her stop.
Don't argue with the 1-year-old. Just give her whatever she wants.
The stereotype of the oldest is definitely very apparent with you guys.
Oh, Mabry's the mama.
She's on it, and she's like, "Can I be in charge?"
Yeah. She loves to be in charge, though. That's like her calling.
Kind of like her mother.
Yeah.
And her grandmother and her great-grandmother. I promise it's...
So there is a lot of strong women in your, in your family.
Absolutely. And I'm right there, and I'm more like my mom every day. So
yeah, her mom started the dental practice 38 years ago. In New Braunfels. But yes, like we just went on a vacation to Alaska with.
I saw that. That looked
our whole
awesome.
family.
20 of us in RVs.
Oh, I didn't realize the whole family.
In RVs. Oh, I saw you drop in the RV.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
everybody had an RV.
We flew into Anchorage in 4 different RVs. So there were 7 people in our RV.
Yeah.
But that being said, her mom scheduled like every hour of a 10-day trip. Like,
beautiful
this
trip.
is what we're doing,
Yes.
and
this is how we're doing it.
She is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at first, you're like, oh my God, she does the same thing. We go to Denver, and she's like, this is what we're doing, and I don't care if you drink Friday night. You're waking up at
Museum here
9.
is amazing. We're going.
We're going to the zoo. Yeah, we're going to the zoo.
When they open. Yeah.
I have activities. Well, do you have any other questions? I want to keep talking, but we're also running out of time.
I know. I just saw that. I looked down at the
I
timer.
know.
It goes by so
I
fast.
know.
It's always fun to have people in with us.
I just, I guess, again, trying to pry more, what's the biggest issue that you guys have between the two of you?
Or what was? It doesn't have to be now, but what What was?
Because we'll fight your fight for you.
I gotta pick some good. Steve will get you.
We struggle with Renae helping me slow down.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am like Daniel. I want to work all day and party all day. I want to do it all. You know. And Renee's like, hey, sometimes I just need you here at the house.
I think that's our current thing because we have a little one.
Take a break.
You know, we have a little one, and so
Yeah, for sure. The go.
Yeah.
Not missing her
I guess
being
I get
little.
to do more fun stuff than she does.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
By the way,
He goes on trips with his
That
friends.
same thing. Some of them is with
It's
you,
coming out
Mr.
now.
Trevino, doing fun stuff with you. Hey, come to Vegas with me. You know, like Sarah will kill me. I just got back from Vegas.
but that's the best part is because you'll go and I'm like, Sarah, let's Daniel go.
What was that? What was the last time you went to Montana with his buddy?
or
on
was it
some
Florida?
private
I'm not sure.
plane?
Maybe it was Florida.
No, Vegas,
Or
then
maybe it was
Montana.
Vegas.
Vegas, then
It was
Montana.
3 in a row.
It's hard
Renae.
to tell
3
because there's a
trips
lot
in
of
row.
trips. Yeah.
Yes, and I was like, I go,
you hit
look.
my nerve.
I go, look, Sarah's not bitching, Renee.
Oh, I am at home. He does. You get to go a lot of places, which I love, but I want to go too.
Someone's got to watch the kids. I'm going to watch the kids.
You want me to
Come on,
watch the
man.
kids? What
Like,
you talking
you see
about?
what I do?
You know I'm not capable. You know I'm not
I
capable.
don't have those skills. I can't babysit.
But
Is
it
it called
also-
babysitting if it's your own kids?
No, it's not.
It also makes it hard, especially in my business, that a lot of my work is entertaining. A lot of my work is, hey, there's this group of people who give me a lot of business. I need to go, if they want to go do a fishing trip,
Go entertain and
I have to be there.
Connections.
And a lot of
Come be funny.
Yes.
Come be the
come
court
be funny,
jester.
come,
Yes,
come
yes.
meet this guy who wants to book you and hang. And then, of course, it leads to, and so Renae had a really hard time with it, especially in the beginning. But now
When you
with-
weren't making
balance.
money. Now it leads to work. And that makes money. So
Well,
that
I mean,
kinda
before
helps.
you have kids, it's easy because the wife gets to come with you. But that was like in
Right.
the big leagues. I'm getting off a plane in Chicago, going to Capitol Grill. She has 2 kids at home,
throwing up on her.
cooking mac and cheese
making chicken nuggets,
and
yeah.
chicken
Dinner.
nuggets. What are you doing, honey? And all comped. All the big ballers
yeah.
are
Right.
paying for it. So
And by the way, now you have a Christmas tree closet.
Yeah. So it all worked out. It all worked out. Okay.
Hey, funny thing though, when they, and I don't know how it is in the comedy world, but I didn't have a long contract. So when we, like our first 2 houses we bought, like, Mr. McCutchen, we don't care how much money you made last year. What does your contract say
Right.
make in the future? So she was I
Sugar
was the
mama?
co-signer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, house number 3.
Finally,
I said,
McCutchen.
look, I got an income
Don't
now.
worry, baby.
so-
I got good credit now. Let me handle this.
So
But I mean, definitely has been a journey for you guys, and definitely a team effort. And Renae and I on this podcast, we really try to promote a good marriage. I say good, healthy. I don't know.
Great.
I don't know if it's a healthy marriage, but it's a good marriage and family people. And then last but not least, I am a huge Kevin Costner fan. And part of the reason I'm a Kevin Costner fan is because he makes baseball movies. And I love baseball.
You turn on our Netflix and it's literally suggested movies is all sports movies.
All the sports.
All
Yeah.
Steve's sports
But
movies.
I explained to Renae, so one of my all-time favorite movies is For Love of the Game. And part of the reason is that here's this guy throwing a perfect game.
Do you guys know it?
You know
For the
the
love of the
movie?
game?
Yeah.
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 Guy throws a perfect game. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's so excited. And at the end of the night, he ends up in a hotel room by himself. And that's almost my life every weekend. Every weekend I am on stage, sometimes throwing a perfect game, making everybody laugh.
Great time.
And everybody's high-fiving and everybody's taking pictures and we're all hanging out. I feel like this energy of man, I went from here to here and then now here I am in a hotel room by myself. So that's one of my favorite movies. What's one of yours? And why?
yeah, that.
That's a big question
like
to throw
that?
out
Yeah,
like
just
that.
a minute. We're supposed to prep for
Think
this.
about it. What is your favorite movie?
Probably not a sports movie, but I like. I love Navy SEAL movies. I say if I wouldn't have been a professional, when you're a big leaguer, I can say anything. I was going to be a Navy SEAL, but I decided to play in the big leagues instead.
I got a contract.
I probably could have been
Could have saved the country, but
so.
Yeah, except that when we went halibut fishing in Alaska, you threw your guts up.
Yeah,
on a boat.
so I couldn't have been a Navy
So-
SEAL. Not the boat. Hey, hold up, guys. Give me a Dramamine before we go storm this pirate ship.
Interestingly enough, my friend, I don't want to name names because he's that kind of guy. Can't even say his name. But he goes, man, I'm a Navy SEAL, but I got seasick every single time we went on a boat.
Wow.
And he was like, I just had to fight through it,
Yeah.
But so you like Navy SEAL movies, but we're talking about baseball movies. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Well, he just said, he's like, I'm not really a fan of
it is.
baseball movies.
For Love of the Game, that's a great one.
Really?
That is
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah.
I think it's like you don't really like to watch comedy movies.
I mean, I really like,
Yeah,
when
that's
you're clearing the mechanism, and it is, and all of the outside, and then just channeling that. I mean, it was.
That is a good question. I mean, did it? I mean, people are screaming at you and they're yelling.
I would be more intimidated when no one was there, and you have those Steve Trevinos in the corner heckling you.
You suck.
The 7 of them that you can actually hear what they're saying. When it's just a big roar,
Crowd sound.
you don't hear it. But yeah,
"Hey, you suck. I
Yeah.
hope you die.
yeah. So Sarah and I, we broke up for like a month in college.
Ooh,
And
I want to
then-
hear about this.
So I went to Texas A&M where she was, and if you've ever played at Texas A&M for college, it's one of the greatest college atmosphere
Any
to play.
sport, they're there.
They sway and they go, Daniel.
There's such school pride.
Daniel,
Yes. The
and then they'll
fans
scream
are-
ball 1, ball 2, whatever. But I don't know, I struck out 15, I think. And then she's up in the stands going, maybe I will give
This
this
is all
guy.
in your head.
Maybe I'll give this guy a second chance. But
So
one of
what
them,
was the breakup?
I wasn't
I don't know. He
listening or
wasn't
something like that. I don't
listening. He
remember.
wasn't listening.
He still doesn't listen. That hasn't
You can't
changed.
break up with us every time we don't
Yeah.
listen. We wouldn't be married.
I think yesterday I was like, you didn't listen. I asked you
Yeah.
that. I asked you and you didn't listen.
well,
Always.
Renae has selective listening.
Well, I have to. Have you heard what he says about me on stage? Sometimes you
true.
gotta let it go in
Yes.
one ear and out the other.
That's true. And glad she
But
does.
you can always fall back on it, babe. I don't really think you're that way. It's my job. I can't.
I gotta say these things. It pays the bills.
Yeah,
honey.
let's go.
Do you want a Christmas tree closet or not? Well, I mean, congratulations to you both, and we love you guys. And
Thank you for coming in and doing
Yeah,
this with
thanks
us.
for having us.
We're really bummed that you left the neighborhood, but we hope to have some really great parties at your
Absolutely.
new Christmas tree closet house.
Yes.
Steve just invited himself over.
Oh, yeah, it just showed up.
He's gonna pop out of your Christmas
hang
tree
out.
closet.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
There's plenty of room. I can live in that Christmas tree. I'm 5'5". I can live in that. I can have 2 stories.
He's gonna have a big old ladder in there.
So this is Steve Trevino and Captain Evil. We hope you enjoyed our friends because we love them, and what a great couple. Hit up Daniel McCutchen at,
Cutch 82. CUTCH 82.
and there's some great pictures of us coaching together. And then, of course, we'll promote your dental business. Tell us about your dental business here in New
My office
Braunfels.
is called Today's Smile here in New Braunfels on Common Street. Yeah.
So go visit Miss Sarah. She needs more money for a Christmas tree.
She needs
closet.
decorations for the tree, y'all. That's a damn big
Yeah.
tree.
So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Like, share. Oh, and we forgot to mention our sponsors, Aztec Chevrolet. Thank you so much for taking care of it. As a matter of fact, I put Daniel in touch with Aztec Chevrolet, and hopefully they'll help you find your vehicle.
Denali 2500 diesel.
It's coming.
Black.
Yep. And of course, oldsaltcoffee.com, Trevino 10. Get your coffee from veterans. All right, we're out.